told her I didn't know that the 24th was the playoffs because I was like, don't wait until after the fourth quarter.
The boys, I think, are the 23rd. So we're hoping we have a
Check out what I did. I went in.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to WarriorNation.tv. We are at the pit, the Panther Pit at Pineview High School, ready to bring you Snow Canyon Warrior basketball. And I am Ryan Rarick, and I am here with Coach Kenny Cundy. Cundy, how's it going tonight?
I am doing well, Ryan. How about yourself?
I'm good. I'm looking forward to this basketball game. It's going to be a bit of a challenge for the Warriors. We're coming into Pineview with a 1-7 region record. Beat Crimson, improved play against Cedar, but it's always tough to win at Cedar. And now we're coming in to play a Pineview team that's 7-1 in region. What are you looking for from the Warriors tonight, Kenny?
They need to be consistent. That win that they had last week against Crimson, I thought their consistency was really good. They kind of struggled hitting shots in the first half, but they stayed with the game plan, did the same thing in the second half, were able to hit those shots and extend that lead. So
yeah, consistency and discipline seemed to pay off a lot in Crimson, and it was like you said, those shots early weren't falling, and they started to fall late. It's also going to be against a team like this, against Pineview, we kind of need to play our best game, and we need Pineview to make some mistakes, but then the key is to capitalize on those mistakes. It seems like right now the teams are heading to their benches, and we're getting ready for the presentation of the colors by the ROTC. So we're going to pause for a minute, and we'll be back after the national anthem. All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. And that was a treat to have a live band
First one
perform.
I think we've had, boys or girls, this year.
Yeah, we haven't seen bands allowed in the gym, so it's nice to have that performance. Hey, and before we get too much further, we've got a shout out to one of the Warriors, Tyler Mooring. Coach Cundy, she had some exciting news today.
Yeah, Tyler Mooring had her signing today. She signed to go play softball at McCook College in Nebraska.
Congratulations to her. That's exciting to be able to compete. I love multi-sport athletes. I was a multi-sport coach. You are too.
Yeah.
So I always love it when players are able to excel in multiple areas. The starting lineup for the Warriors is the same as it has been for the entire region schedule. We've got Kenneth Staley, Livy Cundy, Taylin Whitehead, Tyler Mooring, 4 seniors, and then to round out the starting lineup, leading scorer for the Warriors is sophomore Natalie Olson. And now the lights have dimmed, the music's on, and that makes it impossible for us to read the lineup for the Panthers. So Cundy's going to get his flashlight out, and he's going to announce the starting lineup for the Panthers for us.
First goal off the bench. Looks like it's Maddie Jensen, senior guard. You've also got number 10, Alexandra Olson, another senior, plays guard. I remember she was a pretty good shooter last time we played them. The girl you got to watch out for Pineview right now, number 20, Avery Papa. 6'3" girl, that's pretty hard to defend. She got in a little foul trouble the first time we played them, but I'd expect her to try to bounce back and have a big one tonight. The other post that plays with them is Allison Schmidt, number 23. Rounding out their starting lineup is number 34, Emma Jensen.
Yeah, Papa has been a key contributor for the Panthers since her freshman year. I actually coached against her when I was coaching the girls, and it was an issue to try to address somebody with that size and skill under the basket. She's actually taking it out on her opponents this year, averaging 18 points per game. And the Olsen girl is averaging 16. And Pineview has a third player, Jensen, number 3, averaging over 10. And another one, Schmidt, averaging almost 10 at 9.15. So just in their starting lineup, they're looking at almost 50 over 50 to 60 points a game. And that's actually been the story for them. We were talking off air, Cundy, that their margin of victory in the region has been, they played one close game. It was a loss to Desert Hills. That's their only loss on the season. And other than that, their average margin of victory is above 20 points against the other opponents in region.
Yeah, in the girls' game right now, when they've got 2 girls down there on the post, one that's 6'1" and one that's 6'3", there is not a lot of girls that can defend that kind of size.
So Snow Canyon lost the jump, and Pineview quickly turned it over. And Snow Canyon advanced across half court. Something to look for is this defense that Pineview is running. I recognize it from a summer basketball camp that I went to at Utah State. The Utah State girls basketball coach has, I can't even remember the name of it. I'm gonna have to look it up. But it's this unique half-court trap where it's like a 2-on-2, but you're actually defending the corners, and you're trying to force turnovers. When they're passed to the corner, you have a guard that runs and jumps, and they leak out for layups. So it kind of confuses the ball handler because nobody actually stops the ball handler when she crosses half court. Staley's first three-pointer is off, and the rebound to the Panthers.
That right there is a good look against that kind of a press. Those corners should be open. Pineview out running the floor, though. Easy transition layup.
We can see that's how they end up racking up a lot of points. The shot had barely been missed, and they were down the floor. You can see right here, this is what we were talking about. We've got basically a quadruple team against Taylin Whitehead. However, the Warriors haven't figured out where and how to move against this defense, so there's not really an open player to pass to. And as Taylin's bringing that ball across half court, she's a little confused. I'm not sure what happened right there. It looked like they called a foul on the Panthers, and then somehow the Panthers are inbounding the ball.
Might have been a traveling violation. I didn't quite see what was going on there as well.
So Snow Canyon's on defense. and that will be a traveling violation on the Panthers. The number 10 is Alexandra Olsen. She penetrated clear basically to the baseline and tried to hand it off to her teammate, and her teammate refused to take the ball. So it ended up being a traveling violation. Coach Roden's calling a timeout right now to address how to attack this defense. It is an interesting defense. I remember the first time I encountered it, Coach, was up at this summer camp. And, you know, we go to a summer camp in Logan, and it's a 7-hour bus ride to get up there. I think we actually rented Suburban. So we drove up there. It was still a long drive. And we had been told that our first game was at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So we kind of took our time, ate lunch in Brigham City. We're getting ready to roll into Logan, and it's like 1:15, and they're like, hey, your game was supposed to start at 1. You guys need to be here right now. So we fly to the college. Our girls put their shoes on in the Suburban, and they run out onto the court, and the first team we play is throwing this crazy defense at us. So
what kind of things did you decide to do to try to break that press?
So one of the things that we did is we put a player in the high post area, and then we actually pushed our wings down deep into the corner. And we invited a double team. We waited for a double team to attack our point guard, and then we either kicked it to the high post or skipped it to the opposite corner. But it's the same concept, beating any zone, make them move a lot is what we ultimately want to do.
You've got to find the right angles.
We can see here Coach Roden goes with this 1-3-1. You basically just you want odds where they have evens and evens where they have odds. So if there's a 1 person at the back, you want 2 in the back. If there's 2 people in the back, you want 1 in the back. Right. You basically want to offset that.
They did a pretty good job that time of beating that pressure.
We can see the ideas are right a lot of times, but as evidence right here, it's the execution of some things where the Warriors run into a little bit of trouble. The setup to beat that half-court trap was perfect, but then the pass execution, the pass was deflected, and then right there on that inbounds play, the pass was deflected again, and it went off of Staley's foot out of bounds. So Pineview will bring the ball across half court and look to initiate their offense. Good defense, unfortunately, in order to defend Schmidt under the basket, the Warriors needed to double team, and that opened up that backside rebounder. There's the skip that's picked off by the Panthers, and they have numbers now. Good little Euro step. Shots missed, but she gets her own rebound, and now she takes a 3. And that was Alexandra Olsen showing some hustle right there, and the Panthers are out to a quick 9-0 lead, and Coach Roden has a couple of teammates off the bench ready to come in. Looks like Makari Wong and Ebony Lealau will be entering the game.
Talon did a good job getting to the middle of that press, but you cannot dribble through a press. You beat presses like this by ball fakes and passing.
Yeah, and moving to the open area, and I'm positive Talon is out real quick because Coach Coulomb is going to talk to her about how to attack this. And I imagine that Talon's not going to be out very long with the amount of ball pressure that the Panthers are exerting.
Right now the girls are trying to dribble through stuff. They just have to catch, be strong, and look to make some passes to get through that, because with all the players in the front court up here, up at the high volleyball line area, there's space down underneath the basket if we can break that first line.
That is 2 fouls on Emma Jensen, so there's a silver lining for the Warriors. There's some quick ball movement. And there we go. We make the zone move a little bit. We've got a good attack. Ebony Lealau attacks the closeout, gets to the middle of the paint, hits a little runner with the and 1. So she will be shooting free throws now. Kundi, one of the keys in like any sport is we always would say you can either be the hammer or be the nail, right? The hammer's the one that's doing the attacking, the nail's the one being attacked. And whenever a team is in survival mode, they're not attacking. And it looked like a lot of the ball handling for the Warriors in the half court is survival. I just don't want to turn it over. And when you're surviving, you're looking down at the ball, you're looking at the floor, and you're not seeing opportunities to attack. And that's where the Warriors are right now. So Coach Luce takes a timeout. I had the opportunity to work with Coach Luce a couple of times. He used to be the head coach at Kanab. This is his 2nd season at Pineview now. Before we go any further, shout out to some of our sponsors. You can see them on your screen. Levitt and Associates, tax season. We've also got St. George Kids Dental, the McMullen Legal Group for injury attorneys, and the Brian Hickman Real Estate Team. Snow Jensen and Reese, and Total Triage. Thank you to all the sponsors that make this broadcast possible. Hey, also, let's make this fun. Anybody listening, if you want to jump on Instagram and comment on the SCHS admin Instagram account, we can see those comments. So if you want some shout outs, if you're watching this game somewhere, we would love to shout out some of our viewers. Right there is that ball movement that we're looking for out of there. We can see we offset the numbers. We put 3 up against their 2. Papa corrals the ball, enters it to Schmidt. There's a size advantage for Pineview. Pretty big size advantage.
Right now, offensively, things are coming a little bit too easy for the Panthers.
Yep. Here's that ball to the wing. Now we can move it, and we can make them rotate. Look at Tyler under the basket. She's standing down there waiting for a skip pass. Right now is the time to do it. Against this defense, the dribble attacks aren't going to come. There's the pass. Oh, and she's hammered by Papa.
Yeah, a lot of times when you're under that much pressure up top, you don't see those openings down low unless, like you said, you're not being the nail.
Yeah, and it's also recognizing scheme. So it's like, hey, there's 2 people on me, and they're defending my reversal pass. There has to be an open area of the floor. And typically all of these defenses, the area of the floor that they leave open is the opposite corner. And what I was going to mention before about those dribble attacks is if you receive the pass, if you're 1 pass away, you're unlikely going to be able to attack off the dribble. It's going to be on skip passes where the defense has to close out a large distance. That's when you can dribble attack. The first free throw's up and good for Mooring. Misses her second. And on that miss, Pineview races down the floor, and in order to stop the layup, Mooring commits a foul.
Yeah, they're doing a good job getting their post down the middle of the floor right at the basket, and we're just having a hard time getting that early defensive position, and Schmidt is getting just about any shot she wants right there at the basket.
They are putting on a clean, it's quite the luxury for Pineview to have a player as skilled as Papa, who spent her first 2 years in the region sitting on the block. And now she's running the wing, and when the ball's advanced to her, she can see over the top of every single defender, and then you've got another player like Schmidt running down the lane, and it's just that post-to-post passing that leads to layups or free throws. There's a skip. Now a dribble attack the other way to the left is what's available. Now look at Tyler. There it is. Good ball movement from the Warriors.
That was a much better job. Tyler needs to be ready to shoot that ball out of that short corner position instead of just attacking.
Good rebound from Whitehead. Unfortunately, the Warriors, Pineview did not take advantage of it, but too often the Warriors are running down looking for their girl, and they need to get to the basket first and then defend. But they could do a good job of rebounding right there. Wong loses the ball. It's going to be a jump ball, and that will go to the Warriors.
You know, that was a pretty impressive job by Pineview to get into that press on a missed shot.
Yeah, they're obviously well coached and well trained. One thing too with this is, at some point you just have to make jump shots, right? So as Snow Canyon's moving this ball, when we get open 10 to 15 footers, we have to take them and make them, and that's really the only way that this to beat this zone. Good defense by the Warriors. They end up deflecting it out of bounds to defend the easy basket underneath. Cundy checks into the game, and Mooring takes a break. Miscommunication on the screens on the baseline out of bounds play, and the foul will be on Lealau, and so Pineview will shoot 2. 3 minutes remaining in the first quarter. The first free throw's up and in, and that is Maddie Jensen who put that one in. Next one's off the front of the rim, but Papa's able to get the rebound. A little bit of a scrum, and Wong ends up with the ball. I always love it when I see the smallest player come out of a huddle with the ball.
Yeah, we're going to have to be very disciplined boxing out. That height can kill. That was 2 or 3 offensive rebounds right there for Pineview, just by the fact that they're 3 or 4 inches taller than our kids.
Yeah, and also I know I'm positive one of the points of emphasis for Coach Roden right now is going to be maintaining composure. We can see right there, when you have to go against a tough defense like this, it's another 3 for Olsen from almost the exact same spot where she hit earlier.
Yeah, she shot the ball well against us the first time we played. Definitely one you got to close out on.
One of the keys when you're playing against a frustrating defense, nice move from Natalie Olsen.
See, that ball movement right there is so much better. And the Warriors, if they want to get close and keep this game competitive, they've got to attack the bigs like that and try and get some fouls on them.
Yeah, and the Warriors need to rise to the challenge here. This defense is not going to go away. They're going to have to be the attackers and find those weaknesses. But a couple of possessions ago, you can see our guards are bringing the ball down, and they know they're going to get double teamed when they cross this half-court line. And they're trying to throw it to the wing before they get there. The only problem is the wing's being defended, and even if they catch it, they're not in a good spot to attack. And sometimes that's like being a good teammate is put your other teammates in the best position possible. Don't ask them to bail you out.
Right.
Look to set them up. And so that's something that the Warriors are going to need to pay attention to for the remainder of the game.
On that break right there, I like how Makari got to the middle and then she ball faked the pass. That made the defense jump, opened some things up, and then quick ball movement got that into the middle of the floor where the Warriors could be a little more aggressive.
And Natalie Olsen did a good job of feeling the defender behind her and knowing which way to turn into attack.
That's a big three-pointer right there, Tessa Taylor. I think she's the one who subbed in for Papa, who picked up her second foul on that last defensive set.
Cundy with the ball in the short corner. She was waiting for Mooring to dive. Well, she didn't wait. She was expecting Mooring to dive.
Good box outs that time. We just couldn't corral the ball.
That's frustrating for the players. They did everything right there, and then two of them fought for the ball, and it went out of bounds, and that's hard as a coach because you want to reward players who go for the ball, and the issue earlier is not enough people were going for the ball. Schmidt gets her own rebound off the miss. Back out to Olsen. Olsen misses a three. Dunkley with the rebound. She finds Whitehead. Whitehead moving the ball across half court, and Pineview is back in that trap. She enters the ball to the wing to Staley. Staley over the top back to Whitehead. Whitehead enters to Mooring. Mooring over to Dunkley. Dunkley back to Whitehead. Whitehead finds Cundy in the short corner. There's the shot that goes up. It's long, but Mooring fights for the rebound. Dunkley dribbles up. We need Dunkley to turn and face the basket right there. Yes. No defender went with her. Good entry pass to Mooring.
I think those short corner shots are going to be the ones that they're going to have the most open and available against the press right there.
Right there, what I would have liked to have seen from Tyler, she caught the ball high and she turned and then brought the ball down, and that's where that deflection came from. If she turns and keeps the ball high, then she can figure out where to attack. But yeah, we also just basically every player for the Warriors needs to be a threat, and so right there I was just saying I would have liked to have seen Dunkley turn around. It's a good move by Schmidt. Dunkley did a good job of chasing down the loose ball, but when she came back out, she never faced the basket. There we go. Good ball movement from the Warriors. Cundy with the layup attempt is off, but the ball is deflected out of bounds.
Yeah, we got to get those ones right there in the basket.
You don't get better shot
Can't
attempts
miss
than
those
that.
layups.
And you know that nobody's ever trying to miss, so it's hard. Once again, as a coach, it's like thing where you want to.
Yeah, one of the byproducts of a press is speeding teams up.
Yep.
You know, so thinking you have to get that layup off quickly.
The skip. So if we had instant replay right there, when Mooring catches that ball, Whitehead's on the opposite wing, and there's nobody between Whitehead and the basket. If she cuts, if Mooring reverse pivots and Whitehead cuts, we should be getting layups off of that. So getting that ball to the short corner. Getting the ball to the short corner, finding the dive, and then making maybe one more pass. There's some aggressive attacking from Taylor Whitehead. Unfortunately, Pineview kind of had noticed her intentions early, and they set up to draw the charge. And, of course, that's the shot that went in. Was
right?
After the foul was called, the ball bounced off the rim and went in. We have 5 seconds remaining in the quarter. Olsen attacking from the top of the key, makes it all the way to the paint for the scoop layup at the buzzer. And that's about as good of a quarter as Pineview could have expected. They take a 24-7 lead at the end of the quarter.
Yeah, right now the Warrior defense can't corral any of them, and they're getting just about any shot they want offensively.
Another shout out to some of our sponsors, State Bank of Southern Utah, Southwest Skin and Cancer, Simply Wisdom Teeth, and Brent's Interiors, Flooring America, Genesis Dental, and LP Building Solutions. Thank you to all of you for making this this broadcast possible.
You know, in that first quarter, the player that the Warriors are definitely going to have to be aware of is number 10, Alexandra Olsen. She has 10 of their 24 points, hit a couple of threes, had a couple of looks, easy looks, layups at the basket. Right now, they're having a tough time defending and keeping her in front of them.
You can see, we talked about this, I talked about this at the boys game the other day, where when we talk about like, there's been a shift in basketball toward like analytics and taking like your highest percentage shots and stuff like that. But one of the things analytics can't explain is like momentum or like the aura of how it feels. And it feels, just watching the game, Pineview's totally comfortable. They don't feel uncomfortable at all in any aspect of the game. And Snow Canyon feels like they're almost like walking on eggshells, like trying not to make mistakes. And it's almost at this point in the season, you know, obviously every game matters. That's one of the benefits of the new state tournament seeding. But also, I'm not proposing that Snow Canyon be careless with their play, but what's the wording? They don't. I mean, they're near the bottom, and they're the only way to go is up.
Maybe be experimental with things that you're doing.
Start trying things, and maybe for some of these younger players, we're trying to develop skills for the future, right? So let's try to do stuff, and let's try to play it the right way. And even if that doesn't turn into a win right now, 2 years from now, some of our sophomores that are some of our key contributors, they're going to need to be able to play as comfortably as Pineview's playing right now.
Very true.
So he had a quick shot from the Warriors. It was a miss. Pineview with the rebound. They come down and attack, and Staley is called for the foul. Ball is entered to Papa. Papa with a spin into the middle of the paint. Nice little left-handed hook shot that she misses. And Natalie Olsen comes away with the ball and hands it off to Makari Wong. Makari enters it to Olsen. Olsen to Staley. Staley skip passes to Leia Lau. Leia Lau back up to the top to Wong.
Good ball movement.
There on the second attempt, she finds the short corner. We need Staley to look at the basket right there. Leia Lau attacks, comes off looking to shoot, and Staley with a good rebound attempt right there. Not attempt, it was a good rebound. And then over the back is going to be called on number 3, Maddie Jensen. Snow Canyon, is in the bonus. Yes. So 7 fouls on Pineview, so Staley will shoot a 1-and-1.
You know, being in the bonus this early in the second quarter, I mean, Coach Rhoda may want to think about changing that strategy to slowing it down and stop taking quick, get fouls, get to the line,
attack
stop
the basket.
clock.
Well, and I know he's preaching, you know, when you get the ball, triple threat, face the basket, see the floor. And right there, the girls are making these quick shots. Staley makes both of her free throws. The girls are making these quick passes because they don't want the trap to come.
Right.
But they're passing it to the first person they see instead of to the right person. So right there, we try to jam the ball in the high post. There's 3 defenders. Tyler's attacking baseline. We eventually get it to her, but by that time the defense is recovered. An illegal screen is called on the Panthers, and Snow Canyon will regain possession. Wong's initiating the offense. She finds Leia Lau on the wing. Leia Lau to Olsen, and I like Olsen going to the ball right there. They're going to call a foul on Pineview. Olsen did a little Patrick Ewing pivot right there and moved from the elbow to the top of the key.
She's got 3 kids on her.
She
was
getting
fouled.
fouled.
That, but somebody's got to be open.
So she will go to the line for some free throws. And Olsen's checking back into the game for the Panthers. Snow Canyon looking to get into double figures here with this free throw attempt. That one's up and in. That's 10 points for the Warriors. Another thing I would like to see the Warriors improve at, Kundi, is their defensive transition.
Yes.
So right here's an example. There's a missed shot, and we can see it was actually not too bad. We got back and faced the ball. Long shot from the Panthers is missed. Rebounded by Papa. She goes into the paint.
Good rebound.
Puts up a shot and misses it. And Olsen with the rebound, and she's pushing. And she's had Lealau up on the wing. If she swings that ball up to Lealau, the defender comes out to defend Lealau. Olsen continues to run down the middle. She probably ends up with a layup right there, but instead she does draw a foul. So that is it. Your defender is moving, and you see their hip, attack the hit, you get a foul called.
Yeah, and the Warriors are doing a pretty good job in this quarter right now. Pineview forcing a few shots, maybe a little comfortable with that big lead. And Warriors coming down. This is their third trip in a row to the foul line. And that's 5 free throws in the quarter for the Warriors to cut the lead to 12.
And that's going to be a timeout. That is if we're talking scheme here, Kundi, the Warriors were down, 17 points at the end of the first quarter. The only way you make a comeback against a deficit like that is scoring with the clock stopped and getting stops on defense. And so right now, the Warriors have gotten stops. It hasn't really been steals. It's been, quick play from the Panthers that have resulted in the rebounds for the Warriors. But then they have drawn fouls and made their free throws. So
yeah, they've done a good job from the free throw line right now. And, one of the hardest things, boys and girls alike, especially when you're down, by quite a few points, is to know which shots are the best shots to take. A lot of kids think that just, jacking up the threes, first look that we get, that's what's going to get us back in the game. And, 9 times out of 10, that's not the case. Warriors need to figure out, especially with this young group, what a good shot is versus what a forced shot is. And if they can take some more of those good balanced shots, continue to get fouled, might be able to creep back into this before halftime.
There was Snow Canyon came out into a press, and as Pineview was attempting to break it, Pampa was attacking, and she got her foot tangled up with Makari, and Makari ended up calling for the foul. So Pineview inbounds from under their basket, and now Snow Canyon's defending. Looks like Snow Canyon is defending in a 1-2-2 zone, and Pineview had a nice little play with a backside screen on the girl who was supposed to defend the wing right there.
Yeah, that was a really good flare screen by the Panthers.
Makari finds Lealau. Lealau attacks and puts a shot up, but she was surrounded by the Panther defenders.
Yeah, those kind of shots right there are the ones that are going to get us in trouble.
Makari gets the rebound and gets it up to Mooring, and Mooring is able to dribble the length of the floor for the layup. And
there's that defensive transition you were talking about. A little bit of pressure from Tyler, and the pass is overthrown. Warriors will get the ball back.
It looks like the Warriors are trying to set up into a press, and so that's one thing. We've seen Pineview's ability to quickly transition from offense to defense and defense to offense. So one thing is the Warriors can't make the shot and then have to remember that they're pressing, because by that time, Pineview's already across half court. Opposite. Sorry, this is me coaching now. Yeah, look opposite. There's a three-point attempt from Lealau. That's not a bad shot.
Yeah. I like that shot right there.
And now Papa gets the rebound and pushes down the floor. Dead ball now. Skips it. Wong defending. Whitehead back in the game. She's defending at the top of the key. Olsen defends Papa. Papa puts up a three-point attempt. It's a dead spot. Makari Wong has like 6 rebounds so far in this quarter.
She's doing a good job being in the right position out of that zone. And as much as we talk about these bigs from Pineview right now, it's the three-point shooting of Alex Olsen that's really hurting the Warriors.
There's a skip pass, and then Lealau tried to get it down to Mooring. And it's the little things. She's trying to do the right thing. Mooring was who needed to get the ball, but it's the technique. She tried to throw an over-the-top pass where everybody's arms are in the air. A ball fake up and a bounce pass around the side, right. And Mooring gets that ball and is able to either hit it or attack baseline right there for a layup.
Again, this is just sophomore growing pains for Ebony, but she's trying to dribble through the press, and the Warriors have been successful in the press when they ball fake and passed. Yes. Dribbling through a press is usually very difficult.
Yeah, so Pineview puts 2 more on the board, and now Whitehead attacks from the elbow. That's a good attack. She splits the defense.
Little layup.
Is able to. It's almost like Pineview was expecting. There were 3 players, and all of them were expecting the other one to step up and do something. None of them did it. 2 more for the Panthers.
Yeah, the Warriors are losing sight of the people that are getting behind that zone press of theirs right now. And Panthers are getting some easy looks at the basket again.
Good ball movement from the Warriors. One of the keys, there we go, is going to be, and you have to be willing to do this, you kind of have to be sacrificing your body. But when you throw these long skip passes, you have to go get the ball.
And that's
when
exactly
the defenders,
what Tyler did right there. She went and got the ball.
And when the defender's looking at the ball, running to steal, you're going to catch the ball and you're going to get clocked. And you have to be willing to have that happen, because that's one of the things that's going to pull Pineview out of this defense. Mooring hits that first free throw, and the Warriors will be shooting 2 on every foul from here on out. And Pineview has been subbing quite liberally this game. I think they've got.
They have quite a few kids that have some fouls.
Yeah, 9 players have played in the game so far. Typically, coach rotations are 7 or 8.
And a lot of times when you have a team as good as Pineview that can press, having some of those extra kids coming off the bench is a good thing to keep kids fresh and to keep them engaged in what's going on.
Yeah, and we mentioned before their scoring proficiency. Pineview's always got a main scoring threat on the court, whether it's Papa, Schmidt, or Olsen, or Jensen. They're all capable of putting up and carrying the offense for stretches, and right now, Olsen and Schmidt are in the game, and so Snow Canyon's defense never gets a break.
Right, and Cundy on that one right there did a much better job of playing that little spin move of Schmidt's. Every time she's caught that ball on the left block over there, she power dribbles to the middle and then spins back to her left shoulder.
To be able to shoot that
get
left.
a right-handed shot.
Oh,
Cundy did a good job taking that one away that time.
The inbound goes to the opposite corner. Mooring, the shot goes up, and Mooring corrals the rebound. She finds Olsen, and Olsen's looking for the guard. She finds Whitehead. Whitehead swings over to Staley. Staley back to Whitehead, now to Mooring. Back to Whitehead. Whitehead's going to attack and kick out. Staley bobbles the ball. Looks like she was getting ready to go up with that one, which isn't a bad idea. Ball goes down to Cundy, now to Mooring. She skips over to Staley. Staley with a nice wraparound. It looked like Cundy may have gotten bumped from behind right there.
From behind right there. Refs missed that one. Good
So,
little look from Staley.
It was a great look.
Penetration.
And Cundy was going to have a layup opportunity right there, but she lost her balance. Presumably because she got bumped, but we're not biased being from Snow Canyon and one of us being her dad.
Not at all.
But so our apologies for the score being reversed on the live stream, but we have got that corrected. We just like to present new little wrinkles. Taylor hits another three-pointer, and that's been a huge difference maker for the Panthers, because obviously the explosion of points in that first quarter built them a comfortable lead. But since that quarter, since the end of the quarter, Snow Canyon's actually had been playing ahead, but I believe Pineview's maybe almost all of their points this quarter. There's 10 points scored. I think they've hit 2 or 3 three-pointers. I think they've hit 3 this quarter. There's an attack from Leah Lau, and she's going to shoot free throws.
Yeah, that looked like a tough call to me. The Ebony's a little bit out of control, trying to force the issue again. And she's one of our best scorers, and I love to see her being aggressive. But sometimes some of those quick shots or more aggressive moves just tend to allow the lead to increase for the Panthers. We need to be a little bit more judicious.
And what happens is young players, they tend to be results-based, right?
Yeah.
There's an old Charles Barkley quote: the difference between a good shot and a bad shot is whether or not it goes in. So if the shot goes in, it's a good shot. And unfortunately, they're not going in. And I know that Coach Roden wants to be a little bit more disciplined, but I also think he would probably prefer a more well-rounded attack. This is an issue I would run into occasionally when I was coaching, is you design an offense where you believe in all of your players. Everybody has the green light. Let's find the right shot, and everybody can shoot. But sometimes when that offense generated an opportunity for a player and that player didn't want to shoot, then another player's like, well, if we did all of this work to get that shot and we're not going to shoot it, then I'm just going to go in and shoot whatever, because there's no difference, right? And so I know that when we've talked about everybody being a threat, sometimes some of the Warriors are catching, looking to make the next pass. Instead of, you got to be aware, are you open? Can you be a threat? Pineview moves that ball around the perimeter. Lainey Levitt has checked into the game for the Warriors. Pineview enters the ball, then kicks it back out to the opposite corner. Looks like Snow Canyon is in a man-to-man. They had been playing some zone earlier. Olsen attacks, splits the defense, and a charge will be called, or no, I mean, sorry, a block will be called.
Yeah, that's just way too easy for Olsen to get to the basket right there. Talon does a good job on the ball, but then as soon as Olsen makes her move to the basket, Talon almost stops defending and just lets her get by. She's got to do a little better job of keeping that girl in front of her.
So that will be, Olsen puts that ball in and extends the Panther lead to 17. It's a minute 25 to go. And that is 3 fouls on Mooring. That is a concern for Coach Roden.
Yeah, we need her strength and her limited size that we have to help defend some of these post players that Pineview's got.
And she's one of those players that remains composed. Nice attack from Levitt.
That was a good rip through
Levitt rips through. That's what we're talking about, everybody being a threat. This is a player who doesn't get a lot of varsity time. She's checked in because some of the other players are in foul trouble, and she's been watching the game from the bench. That was always something that I would pay attention to when I was coaching, is if my players on the bench were recognizing the things that I was asking the team to do. So Laney right there has probably seen how available these short corner opportunities are. She catches the ball, rips through, and then attacks, and now she's going to shoot some free throws. It looks like
an equipment issue right there with Ebony. Something around her ankle maybe that the refs weren't wanting her to wear.
Laney's first free throw is off the mark. And so Ebony takes a seat, and Dunkley is back into the game. Second free throw is also off for Levitt.
You know, one of the things that we talk about in the boys program, games like this, whether you're up big, down big, is body language. And right now you can see that the Warrior body language is not very good. Whether they're upset with how they're playing or upset with the way things are going, the body language is going to, you know, play into how well they can make a comeback in this game, and they need to fix that.
Well, and even the reason we play sports in high school is to have fun and learn life lessons. And so one of the life lessons right here is, you know, this is a frustrating season. 1-7 in region, only one other win in the preseason. And it seems like it's a bit of monotony, right? The season drags on for a long time. But the lessons you learn from winning or losing will last an entire lifetime. And one of the things we would always emphasize, along with body language, is there's only 2 things that we can control, right? Our effort and our attitude. The time to get better at the sport, it's not now, it's practice. And it's the years that led up to this point. And so in this moment, what's our effort going to be? What's our attitude going to be? And that is one thing that that I would like, if I had the ability to be on the bench, I'd be challenging the Warriors. It's going to be a blocking foul. Somehow that paid off for the Warriors because there was a wide open layup right there. But just you can kind of see the players on the bench. One thing that I would do is I would ask the younger girls that don't get a lot of playing time, they've got to be pumped up right now, and they've got to be motivating and celebrating any good thing that happens. Even on a play like that, it's a foul on us. The other team is going to put in shots. Did somebody make the right rotation? Maybe we committed the foul, but we made the right rotation, so we're seeing the floor better. Let's start celebrating the successes, and then success breeds success, right? But if we're only results-based and we determine what's good based on the outcome, that's going to be a frustrating game for us. There's Levitt on the attack again, puts the shot up and in. Good defense from Whitehead. She stops that. She stops the Panthers from getting an attack. So hey, all said and done, silver lining. We just I'm going to go off my high horse about body language and about having a better attitude. The Warriors won that quarter by a point.
There you go.
We were down 17. Hey, those are the things that I look for. I say, can we win this quarter? Can we win the third quarter? Even if we only win by 1, we're still going to lose the game. But I'm going to say, you know what? We won 3 quarters out of the 4 against one of the best teams in the state.
And one thing that I saw better in that second quarter was how they handled the press. Yep. They didn't turn it over. They limited, a lot of those easy transition buckets because of those turnovers, and allowed them to win a quarter. So some positives to take into the locker room.
We got a lot of good looks right there, too. Hey, we're going to take a break at halftime, and we'll be back in about 8 minutes. Until then.
son. On the real, we appear to get gone. Victory is ours, bring the chip home. Galactic, and I'm looking to get more. Raise it up, seen but you don't know. Running like the blood pumping from the pressure of adrenaline rush. We crush whatever we touch. Where you been, y'all? Everyone know. And if you still don't get it, let it chill for a minute. Time is money, and trust me, man, I'm all business. And if you want something done, do your search and get it finished. Wake up, victory's mine. On top, still on the grind. Gotta go get it right now. Holla at me if you're with me. It's time.
I think the stars above, I know that we're gonna make it.
It'll take over God, we gon' make it. Show the world that it's shining our greatness. Keep it real, never gon' fake this. Till we make it, till we make it. Taking off, flying high like a spaceship. Take control, take a shot, what you waiting for? Keep it real, never gon' fake this. Till we make it, till we make it. Second verse, I'm telling you I'm ready to go, letting you know, cause I'm never alone. The ones that I roll with are incredibly known for getting down to the nitty gritty. If you really with me, let's go. Moves made, dues paid, most talk but don't do a thing. We certified, observers I come through and give a true display. We champions, understand me standing under a victory canopy. Canopy the enemy was handing keys, ready to drive at top speed, let's get it out. Wake up, victory's mine, on top, still on the grind. Gotta go get it right now, holla at me if you're with me, it's time.
I think the stars above, I know that we're gonna make it.
It'll take over God, we gon' make it. Show the world that it's shining our greatness. Keep it real, never gon' fake this. Till we make it, till we make it. Taking off, flying high like a spaceship. Take control, take a shot, what you waiting for? Keep it real, never gon' fake this. Till we make it, till we make it.
I think the stars above, I know that we're gonna make it. I know the ground below my feet's gonna lift me up. I thank the stars above, I know that we're gonna make it.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are here at Pineview High School in the pit, and this is Ryan Rarick, and I'm here with Kenny Cundy. And Cundy, we were just talking off air. We're thinking, you know, we'd like to see the Snow Canyon girls rise to the challenge a little bit. One of the things we talked about is shot selection and maybe just having, you know, improved body language and all of that kind of stuff, because like we said, this game is supposed to be fun, and even when you're losing, it's the thrill of competing.
Right.
It's like, this is way better than being quarantined in our bedroom, right?
Absolutely.
It's a long two-point attempt from Mooring off of an attack from Whitehead and drop off to Mooring. Snow Canyon comes back, and they are matched up in a man-to-man defense. I never mastered that. It's girls basketball, so I guess it's girl-to-girl defense.
It's another three-pointer.
Another three-point attempt from the Panthers. We always just called it man-to-man. It's whatever. Mankind to mankind defense. Whitehead attacks, tries to kick it out to Staley, but we've talked about that before. That kick out is at arm height, and that's why we teach on the opposite side of this. We'll talk about this. In defense, you always teach keep your arms up. And a lot of the times players think, why do I have to keep my arms up? Nothing's happening. Well, you keep your arms up because stuff like that happens.
Right.
People throw the ball, it hits you in the arm, and all of a sudden you've got a steal. That was Maddie Jensen just dribbled around right through the defense and made an uncontested left-handed layup at the rim. And Snow Canyon's back on offense. Olsen looks at the basket, kicks it back to Whitehead. Whitehead pulls up from the elbow, misses. And Pineview is outrunning again. And this is Olsen attacking. She enters the ball to the high post. Papa gets the ball at the elbow, kicks it back over to the corner.
Good
Pineview loses the
from
ball.
Tyler.
Mooring gets the steal. She outlets it to Whitehead. Whitehead's pushing the pace down the floor. She's attacking the middle. And she follows the defender right to the basket. It's not a bad attack.
That
She
was
just
a
wasn't
good
able to
attack
finish.
right there. Yeah, good attack at the basket, just a little short on the finish.
It's a bit of a helter-skelter game right now in the beginning part of the third quarter. And unfortunately, I think this pace probably benefits Pineview more than it benefits Snow Canyon.
It does, and that foul right there is going to be called on Tyler Mooring, and that's going to be her fourth.
And Ebony Lealau is going to check in. Makari Wong's already set to check in as well, so two subs will enter the game for the Warriors after this first free throw, which is good.
Yeah, quick start here in the third quarter by the Panthers. Schmidt's shooting the second of her two free throws. It's up and good. Panthers have a, 6-0 run here to start the third quarter?
Yeah, 7. It was 36-20, yeah. Olsen attacks, kicks out to Lealau. There's a good shot attempt. That's the right kind of shot that we were talking about, the penetration, the kick out.
Yep.
There was that defensive transition that we talked about. Kenna Staley did a good job of running back, but instead of continuing to the basket, she stopped where she was supposed to be defending, which is on the wing. And the Pineview player just kept running, and there wasn't a post back yet. And so Pineview gets an uncontested layup. Quick shot from the Warriors. Cundy's fighting for the rebound down there, but Pineview is able to come away with it. And another transition attack ends up being a turnover for the Panthers, but that's an issue we talked about earlier, Cundy. Seems the stops that the Warriors are getting defensively are more because of the errors that the Panthers are making,
right,
and not because of the effective defense that the Warriors are playing. So we'd love to see some composure right here, doing the right thing and over and over again until you get it down. There's another quote: "Greatness is consistency over time." Think about the Grand Canyon. It was formed by one small river, just over time. Way long range three.
Super deep.
That's a heat check right there. Yeah. That's a luxury you get to take. I know. I'm sure Coach Luce isn't super excited about that shot, but he does like to play a fast-paced game, though. So maybe he is excited about it. Maybe he's giving her the green light to go for it.
Good pass right there.
Not a bad shot attempt. But anyway, consistency over time. The Warriors, like we talk about being results-based, it's like, well, I try to do it the right way, but it's not working. It's like, okay, but that's not, we don't need to change what we're doing. We need to be better at what we're asking you to do. And the Panthers are now on an 11-0 run to start the quarter, and Pineview calls the timeout. And both teams will take a second to chat. Hey, while we're at it, more sponsors. Revere Health Southern Utah Spine and Rehabilitation, thank you for your support. We've got Dustin and Angie Hammer, thank you. Real Estate, Red Rock Real Estate. Levitt and Associates, we already gave them a shout out, but we'll give them another one. Thank you to all of these sponsors, Holbrook Asphalt, St. George, Dixie Motors, Nets on Fire, all of you making this broadcast possible. And we ask those of you listening to please give them your business should you need it. So, Coach Cundy, we can tell our players are frustrated. We're down by 27 points against a team that, if we're being honest, they're a better team. Their record has proven it, the way that they've played throughout the year. What do you do to keep a team like the Warriors motivated to keep going out there and working hard?
Roden has got to emphasize the team concept right now. You can tell with the Warriors, especially with some of the younger kids, that they want to take over and try to will their way back into this game individually with effort. But the Warriors are going to need to try to play some team ball, get the extra pass, get the assist, work that ball a little bit longer, work on some of those things that could make it possible, for them to compete from those lower seeded spots in the state tournament. They just go out there right now and try to be a little bit too individual, and they're not going to get any better.
And they've got to prove to themselves. And I'm sure, Coach Roden, Coach Bowis, Coach Coulomb, I'm positive. I mean, having been in a coaching position, it's not unheard of that a coach may be asking players to do something. Another three-pointer from the Panthers. A coach may be asking players to do something, and the players are still trying to figure out how to do what their coach is asking them to do. So emphasizing that team concept, I'm sure that those coaches have done that, but it's also a point of frustration for the players right there. And it's basically, I made a comment earlier, which I probably needed to qualify when I said the moment to get better is past. I mean, we can absolutely get better during a game. You can learn from that. What I meant was, big picture-wise, where you're going to make your biggest gains are going to be during practice and in the off season. But one of the things right now, if I'm a coach of the Warriors, is I challenge these girls. Hey, for a play, can you be better than the Panthers? Can we be better than them on this play? And then we celebrate it if we are. If not, okay, you're going to get another play in a second. Let's try to be better than them on that next play. And right now, it seems like if the players can grasp a big concept, we can collectively move forward as a team. But if we start to be a little bit more individualistic, now that's another obstacle that we're going to have to overcome, along with the obstacles that were already present before this game started. And that becomes a bit of a frustration as a coach, because we don't even want to get to that point, right? We want to be able to address the basketball stuff,
right,
and not have to address the emotion and the psychology stuff.
Sure, and players can start to resent other players when they try to do too much and not get everybody else involved.
And we talk about a hustle play is contagious. A play the other way is contagious. If somebody comes out here and takes a charge, or if they dive on the floor for a loose ball, that can maybe spin it the other way. But it's a lot less likely to happen if you go down on offense and you're not sure if you're ever going to touch the ball.
Right.
So it's hard for me to dive on the floor on offense on defense, if I don't even feel like I'm a part of the team on offense. It's going to be a foul on the Warriors on the floor. It was a good move by Schmidt to attack the basket right there. We had some subs. We've got Levitt and Whitehead are back in the game. Snow Canyon's got, it's not unusual. They are an undersized team. It seems like our center is Cundy right now. And maybe Levitt is our other post player. Ebony's got some size as well.
Yeah.
But we've got a lot of speed on the floor right there. Shots up and in, and that extends the lead to 30 for the Panthers.
Yeah, I don't have that number in the roster right here. That looks like
Thir-
24 or is it 34?
I think it's 34.
Emma Jensen right there. Makari grabbing another rebound. Shortest kid on the
she's
floor.
got double digits. She's got a nose for the ball right there. Do you see that from her on the soccer field as well?
You do. You know, she played center midfield position for us, and one of the reasons we put her in that spot is just because of her ability to read and see things on the pitch. And you can see that same thing right here. She's a good athlete, understands the games that she plays, does a really good job.
Good hustle by
Good
Taylon
hustle by
Whitehead.
Taylon, yeah.
She had also a good hustle play back here on offense. She chased down an offensive rebound. She then attacked and lost the ball. And we've still got, these are little things. This is something every player on Snow Canyon can improve on before the end of the game. Seeing the whole floor. On defense, we're running back and we're turning our back on the Pineview offensive players. And there's just a rule in basketball: when the defender turns their back on you, you cut to the basket.
Right.
And that's what Pineview's doing. And we're seeing these long passes that are leading to layup attempts from the Panthers. Another quick offensive possession for the Warriors.
And as much as Ebony wants to help the team get back into this game, those kind of shots are making the lead even larger for Pineview, because shots that we're not quite ready to rebound, that are a little bit forced, lead to easy transition buckets for the Panthers.
Yeah, when we see that the team's all out of sorts here, Makari picked up her dribble right there without being pressured. I think she was anticipating a pass, and then there wasn't anybody to pass to because her own defender left her, and she tried to hand it off to Natalie, and it landed. She lost it, and Pineview came down and attacked and gets the foul. The other thing is, with some of these forced shots that Snow Canyon's taken, we're talking about maybe now's the time to run through an offense and find the opening, so that when you're in a game that is attainable, you can execute. But the other thing is, when you do commit a turnover, and this is just my rule of thumb, I was a point guard, I handled the ball a lot, and a lot of the times I was an attacking point guard, and so if I committed a turnover, it was often under the basket. I was the furthest one away. I knew that I had to be in a dead sprint to get back. It was my goal to beat the ball down the floor, because I committed that turnover. I for sure needed to defend at that point. And one of the things that's happening right now is some of these turnovers, we're not making it back across half court before Pineview's making a shot attempt.
Right, and we're playing against probably the best team in 4A right now. Definitely a contender for the state title. So why not go out here and try and run some offense against the best team to see what might work?
If we can get it to work here, we can get it to work against pretty much any other opponent, and then you start to believe. So a three-pointer from Natalie Olsen falls, and that breaks the scoring drought. That was the first field goal of the third quarter for the Warriors. They had made one free throw prior to that. Pineview's moving the ball around on offense, and they are, it looks like they're willing to, it looks like they're trying to run some sets. This is also something that Coach Luce, and this is the best respect that you can show to your opponent. Some coaches, with a blowout, might try to pull the ball out and kill the clock. Coach Luce wants his team to get better at stuff also. Right. So he's going to run some sets that maybe they haven't had a lot of reps of, and they're going to try to do this, and that's actually a sign of respect for your opponent, is you keep playing hard with them. And so the Warriors are going to need to respond. They're going to be expected to defend the entire time as well. Unlike the first half, though, Pineview has cleaned up their fouls. A lot of that would be from, they're not defending for very long periods of time.
They're not in their press.
Yeah, they're not pressing, and also, Snow Canyon's shooting probably within the first 10 to 15 seconds of their offensive possessions. Right. So Pineview doesn't even have an opportunity to foul right now. Snow Canyon has committed 4, so Pineview theoretically will be in the bonus before Snow Canyon. There's going to be a traveling violation. She knew it too. She's got a smile on her face after that. That is a clever way to get to the basket. If you take that extra 2 steps, the defense isn't ready for that. Snow Canyon is their last 2 possessions. They have looked like they're running this a continuity offense right here that they're trying to get down.
Yeah,
good
this
rebound
offense
by
that they're running, I know we've seen it in the boys' games this year. It's a circle motion with a butt cut to the basket and a kid coming off a screener. It's great action to get everybody involved and everybody moving. The problem is like that last set, we make the pass inside on the first cut. Yeah. And you've got to get the defense moving for an offense like that to generate the kind of shots that you want.
It's a great spin move by Papa. She misses the shot, though, and Whitehead gets the rebound. And that's when we start talking about scheme. Is like Whitehead puts up a shot and it goes up and in with bodies flying right there. When we talk about scheme, that offensive design is to get the ball to the 4th or 5th side of the floor. And then you're going to have a Pineview defender with her back turned that then you're going to be able to cut or attack and get a shot. And that first cut is where everybody's eyes go.
Right.
It's going to be the second option or the third option. And sometimes you get that first. Whenever I would introduce a play like that and when I was coaching, I would say, okay, here's the first look, but you're probably only going to get it the first time we run this play, and then you're never going to get it again because everybody's going to defend it. So let's not make this a priority. Hit it if it's open, but if it's not, let's work to get our 4th or 5th option. The quarter ends with Pineview ahead 32. Snow Canyon was able to, they for the longest time had 1 point in the quarter, and they ended up putting 5 more up in that last minute. Here's some more sponsors that you can see on your screen. Once again, thank you to all of them for their support. We've got the Pineview Band playing next to us.
You get anything on the Instagram, Twitter pages yet?
Nobody gave me a shout out yet. SCHS admin, let me double check. Yeah, SCHS_admin. Go follow it. There's a bunch of cool stuff on there about what's going on in the school. Go follow it and then give us a DM for a shout out. Also, Warrior Nation Network. Follow that on the gram as well, and that'll keep you posted for when we're broadcasting. For the rest of this week, Coach, we are at Snow Canyon High School, if I'm not mistaken.
So the boys will be
tomorrow
here.
Tomorrow they're here. Wait, why did it switch?
So not sure why, but I know that the first round against Pineview, there was a conflict that made a schedule switch. So the girls
that's right, I
boys
do.
And then the same thing happened with Desert Hills as well.
So we're both at so
Desert
2 games
Hills
here.
to tail the weekend, and here again tomorrow for the boys in the pit.
Well, what do I know? I just wait for a text from our producer Matt Hamlin to tell me where to go and be there at 7. So I guess I'll be here tomorrow at 7. Papa puts 2 in. She's had, we don't have a scoreboard, we have a scoreboard, but we don't have the player totals. She's had a relatively quiet scoring night, but that's partly because all of her teammates are draining three-pointers left and right. There's an opportunity to attack for Staley right there. Her defender jumped for the steal, and Staley did a great job of ripping the ball away, and instead she just looked to pass. There's some good ball movement, some patience. We have Fett Tapasas in the game for the first time. She finds Staley at the top, Staley to Whitehead. Whitehead finds Mooring. Mooring looked a little too long at Staley. Good hustle to get back, and the layup's missed though. Papa's got the ball under the basket. She kicks it out. And Pineview will run a set.
It's that chin action that they've been running quite a bit.
Long 3 from Olsen. Staley gets the rebound, finds Whitehead, and Whitehead's going to bring it across half court to get into the offense. And I can hear the coaching from Coach Roden. He is doing what we mentioned, trying to find something that works right now. And so he is asking the girls to slow it down and run a set right now. That same pass has been picked off on 2 possessions in a row right now. So one of the things that the Warriors need to look for is sometimes players look at their teammates. So right there, I think it was Makari is looking over at Staley, and she's like, oh, you're on my team. I'm going to pass you the ball. But what you really need to look at is the defender. If you can ball fake right there, especially because it's happened twice now, that defender is going to fly past the Snow Canyon wing offensive player. A ball fake right there. If the wing player cuts, it's going to be a bounce pass into either a layup or the post defender will rotate over to stop the penetration, and it's going to be another bounce pass to Tapasa under the basket for a layup from her. Either way, it's going to be a layup. But right now, we're still one-track mind on that. This is where I'm supposed to pass it, so I'm going to pass it here.
Right, almost like robotic instead of just playing the game of basketball.
Staley kicks it over to Mooring. Mooring kicks it out to Whitehead. Whitehead attacks to the middle, It's a good-looking
penetration
shot.
right
Hey,
there.
that ball went to the third side of the floor. We started on one side, initiated the offense on the other. It came back to the other, and what do you know? We had an attack with somebody whose back was turned. Somehow, Tyler Mooring, I don't know if she tied her shoe.
She was tying
or
her
what
shoe.
happened. Pineview had the courtesy to wait for her to get back on defense before starting their possession.
Fett with a good little rebound
Yeah.
right there.
Whitehead's bringing the ball across. We don't really have numbers. We'll see what she does. She kicks it out to
kick out.
Staley. Staley looks to attack. Finds Wong. Wong with the crossover. That was a pretty good seal. I wish that Fett would have held it a little bit longer, because you can run. It's kind of an illegal screen, but it never gets called because you're trying to establish position for a post entry. And when a guard sees that, instead of entering it to the post, they can just attack right to the post and then shoot right over the top of them. Fett ended up releasing a little bit, and Macari ends up drawing the foul.
Hey, while we're kind of waiting here on this free throw, big shout out to the Warrior Wrestling team.
Undefeated.
Last week they finished region undefeated, headed to the state tournament in Richfield on the 20th of February with a few different wrestlers that actually have a really, really good shot of winning an individual state title this year.
We've got we had a few others. So region champions, undefeated region champions for the first time since 2011. The swim team was also crowned state or region champions last week, and we also had the debate team host a debate at Snow Canyon High School. So we had a lot of activity going on.
It is good during these times, Corona and all that kind of stuff, to see these kids getting an opportunity to do activities and things that they love to do.
I think last spring really put a lot of this stuff into perspective. It was kind of unthinkable that, this was just a fact of life that, we get to do this. There's an inbounds to Staley.
Good
Staley
designed
puts that shot
inbounds
up.
play right there.
It's gonna be is that a foul? It should have been a kick, so maybe she fouled her first. Anyway, the spring sports season was canceled, and teams weren't really allowed to assemble in the summer for long stretches of time. And so it's good to be back and have athletes competing. Like we said, when that mindset's in place, and it's not, you don't want to create a habit of losing, but you want to learn from it. A loss is only a loss if you don't learn from it. And if you can learn from it and apply it to your life in some way, then that's a win as well. We had, I've told this story before, but my senior year of basketball, we were 4-19 on the season, and we make it to the region tournament, and we all of a sudden beat 4 heavily favored teams and make it to the region championship game. And it wasn't because we all of a sudden miraculously became better. It was because something clicked, and it was lessons that we stuck with throughout the year. And so these little moments right here create character, and this is when the real tough moments in life come at you later on, you'll have had an opportunity to prepare for it. Going through these tough moments on the basketball court or the volleyball court or the soccer field or whatever it is.
Right.
Papa demonstrates why she's a dominant player in the region. She established position. And what I really liked about that is she straight up demanded the ball from her teammates. She was not going to be okay with them shooting that three when she had that position established. We're about halfway through the fourth quarter. Pineview leads 62-28. They do commit a foul, the fourth team foul on the Panthers. Macari Wong will inbound from the baseline. Didn't have anywhere to go. She threw it out to the top and turned it over. Papa looked for her teammate cutting, and it's deflected out of bounds. And somehow, I might have to rewatch this because the athleticism that Madeline Doyle just demonstrated right there, the ball got deflected out of bounds, and she looked like she was doing a floor routine at the Olympics. She came somersaulting in, and then Avery Papa just helped her up like it wasn't even unusual. That was the part that fascinated me right there, is out of the corner of my eye, I saw a somersaulter coming in, and then her teammate just say, okay, here you go.
From Papa.
She's going to get an and one.
Definitely when she gets that deep, you have got to take away her strong left hand and force her to do something to the right.
It was...
but it's probably not going to help when she's got that good of a position.
And that's the thing is, by that point, basketball key, you do your work defending the post early. You don't let them establish deep position. Anytime they're moving block to block, they have to fight through you, and then you force them up the paint, make them establish we always had it a goal above the second block. Is we wanted to meet them at the free throw line as soon as they crossed half court, and then we wanted to not let them establish any deeper than that second block. And then, yeah, sometimes you have to know the scouting report. Avery, she's left-hand dominant. She goes to her left hand. And even if you tell girls that, they're so used, and not just girls, any player, they're so used to defending right-handed players that it takes like 4 possessions before you remember that they go the other way. Makari moves the ball over to Natalie Olsen. Olsen with a good attack right there, and those are those shots that weren't falling at the beginning of that Crimson game. And you can see a little bit of the technique. She's pushing the ball a little bit toward the rim, and if she finishes with her elbow up right there, and there we go. Olsen does the work early and fights around Papa. There's a lob entry,
Good
and
help
it's
side.
stolen. Yeah.
Good help from McKenna Staley on that one.
Staley gets a deflection, Mooring gets the steal, and she finds Makari. Makari is looking to start the offense. Olsen with a long 3-point attempt. It's off. And Pineview's attacking, and Staley got back and defended that cutter.
They'll reach in from behind. Looks like they're going to tag Taylor Whitehead with that foul. That'll be her third.
And we're 1 from the double bonus. The Warriors have committed 19 fouls. Ebony Lealau and Annie Dunkley check into the game. And Wong and Olsen are going to take a break. Couldn't tell if Staley was leaving or not, but I think she's hiding down there in the corner. We're hoping for a full court
move.
pass.
Let's see if we can get it to her.
Yep. I'm pretty sure she's taken after her dad, who, if I'm not mistaken, played at Pineview.
He
right?
did play at Pineview.
And he used to tell me about his job was to run to the corner and stand there. And so there's McKenna. We got to get a picture of Nate, and then get a picture of McKenna right there and do a side by side. Pineview with the ball in the half court. Snow Canyon missed their shot attempt, and they were able to defend in transition. Pineview moves the ball to the opposite side of the floor. Attack. The ball's off the front of the rim. Snow Canyon fights for the rebound. Dunkley brings the ball across half court. And it almost looks like that may have been an intentional foul. Coach Luce is clearing his bench right now, so Olsen commits that foul. It almost looked like, I don't even think she touched her. I think she might have just told the ref, I'm trying to foul right now.
Maybe, because that looked like a pretty weak call.
Yeah, and she wasn't upset about it, so she's out of the game. And Snow Canyon inbounds the ball to Whitehead, and Whitehead looks to start her offense. We're going to get a ball screen from Dunkley. She's attacking, and Jocelyn Olsen sees her first action. She attacks left-handed, finds Dunkley. Dunkley attacks and reverses court. Throws the skip pass to Whitehead. Whitehead attacks baseline, finds Lealau. That's good movement from the Warriors, and that's a perfect-looking shot right there.
So what I like about that penetration from Taylor is her head's up when she penetrates, which tells me that she's looking to penetrate to create something for somebody else. You notice on our last few drives, the girls have their head down, and they're just going to the hole, looking to get something for themselves.
Taylor gets a steal right here as well. She splits the defense, waiting for a foul call. She gets it. And it's being having range as a player is what I'm saying. So Taylor attacked baseline, and I think she initially wanted to score, but then she noticed the defensive rotation, and once that defender was going to cut off her attack to the basket, Taylor then beat that defender baseline, and Lealau recognized this and filled into the open area, and Taylor was able to find her for the shot attempt right there.
All things said and done, I think Taylor's had a pretty good game tonight. She's taking care of the ball well. Her penetration has caused some problems for Pineview. She's gotten some layups at the basket. She's found some good assists.
She's somebody that we've talked about earlier in the year, having one speed, and basically the last 4 games or so, she's really demonstrated this ability to change her pace and change her direction and start and stop and speed up and slow down and use that to her advantage. One of the best assets for speedy players like Taylor, another 3-pointer. Even the bench players are getting in on it. It's Avery Gustin, a sophomore, who hits a 3-pointer. But I remember I read an article one time, and I know this guy's not everybody's favorite player, but it said like one of James Harden's best skills is his ability to slow down faster than everybody else. he's not the most athletic, not the fastest, not the strongest, not the biggest, but he can be fast enough that slowing down so fast creates advantages for him. And to have a player like Taylin, who's as fast as she is, her speed's always going to be an advantage. If she can choose when to use it, then that becomes a better asset, and that's something that she's demonstrated the last few games.
Yeah. Looks like Pineview's going to be content to maybe just run the clock out.
They're entering it to that post player. Lainey Levitt defending on the post. There's going to be a foul. They're designing a play to get sophomore Mackenzie Riley an opportunity to score.
Design on that play was really good. Mackenzie had some good position in the post. Probably learning that from the seniors she's playing against in practice.
She has to guard it every day in practice.
Yeah.
The other thing is it's an interesting scenario because this is talking about understanding the scheme. The ball handler starts clear out almost past the volleyball line on the opposite side of the floor. And so the post defender for the Warriors does not consider the post on the opposite block a threat at all. And then a ball screen comes up and the dribbler comes around. And at that point, the opposite block defender becomes the strong side defender. And all of a sudden now she's boxing you out and you're sealing you. And it's by the time you realize that you're sealed, it's almost too late, and you just have to hope that the entry pass is denied by the guard. And
Looks
I believe
like they're having some issues at the table. My guess is that one of these bench players from Pineview might not have been in the book.
Oh, that's a classic.
And they're probably going to get a technical foul here.
That's a classic issue for coaches. I remember as an assistant coach. I think it was Wade Jensen was the head coach for the girls team, and I was one of his assistants, and I can't remember if I was supposed to write the name in the book or if I didn't tell him, but I didn't put Natalie Coulom's name, sister of Coach Stephanie Coulom. I didn't put her name in the book, and we were winning the game by like 28 points. I was like, Natalie can't go in, her number's not in the book, and Wade looked at me and said, we'll take the technical. It was so funny. It was a coaching learning moment for me right there. I was like, yeah, why was I so concerned about getting a technical foul? But what was funny is we didn't explain it to Natalie, so when she got in the game, she thought she had done something wrong and got a technical foul.
Well, hopefully you learned a good lesson from that. The assistant's coach is always responsible to get those names in the book.
I'm pretty sure I got like 9 technical fouls over my career for doing stuff like that all the time. I would forget numbers left and right, and then I was like, whatever. If we're at the point in the game where I can sub in the player at the end of my roster, I'm at the point in the game where I can handle getting a technical foul.
31 seconds left here in the game.
See if Snow Canyon can get a bucket here. This is the future of Snow Canyon playing right here. We got Dunkley. Oh, the ball's taken away from her. And Pineview's going to get an and one. These may be the biggest cheers of the night. It's one of my favorite, even though it's the other team, and I obviously want Snow Canyon. I'm a Snow Canyon fan through and through, but I absolutely love it when the starters go insane for the bench players.
Right.
And not only that, they got the whole crowd to do it. There's the JV team on the bench that don't even suit up varsity. Those are their girls. Those are the girls that they play with, that they're cheering for, and they're so stoked to see that action right now. Laney kicks the ball out to Dunkley. Dunkley's looking to get on the board. Oh, rims out.
Good rebound.
Fett gets the rebound.
Fett.
Get in there. There we go. Hey, and Snow Canyon takes a turn. Their JV fans scream and cheer right there. And that'll do it from the Panther pit. The Panthers end up putting up 70 points. Warriors end with 34. Cundy, final thoughts on this game?
You know, the Warriors have a little ways to go. A lot of different things that they can fix. Tonight I was a little bit, like you, I'm a Warrior fan through and through and hate to say anything critical about our girls, but body language has to be something that they address. You know, whether you're up by 30, down by 30, or it's a 2-point game, that body language has to be a lot better.
And this is going to be an issue. It's a quick turnaround. They have to play on Thursday, so they get one practice before they then go play the only team that's beat Pineview this year in Desert Hills. And it's going to be as big of a challenge. So my hope that quick turnaround can be a blessing or a curse if the attitude, or not, I don't like using the word attitude. If the mindset can shift, it could be a blessing to have a game quickly. Yeah. Anyway, we're going to finish. Thank you for tuning in. WarriorNation.tv. We'll be back here tomorrow with the boys game, and then we'll be at Snow Canyon on Thursday and Friday for the girls games against Desert Hills. Thanks, everybody.